Stand by. Go see. Card. My cue.
Next, vandals repeatedly strike a local
loud.
golf course. They've done tens of thousands of dollars in damage. Now they've been caught on camera. Plus, an important change state income tax filers need to know about, and making the case for giving the state's colleges and universities the power to raise tuition. 7 News at 6 starts now.
Go see.
Now, in high definition.
Stand by 2 centered on Charlie.
Sponsored by Nissan of Lake Charles. This is 7 News at 6.
My cue.
Hello there, I'm Charlie Haldeman in for Cynthia tonight. An area golf course owner has had enough with vandals on his property. He says it's costing him tens of thousands of dollars. Now he's asking for help trying to catch those criminals. KPLC's Jaron Jordan is standing by with the details. Jaron?
That's right, Charlie. Well, it's damage that Ron Ryder estimates at over $20,000, and tonight he just wants the people responsible caught so the damage can stop and they can own up to their behavior. Ryder has lived on and owned the Pine Shadows Golf Course for 27 years.
46,
he says that in that time, the course has seen its
really
fair share of vandalism.
A few years ago, they broke down the windows of the golf course.
Except for this guy, he does not tell them that.
They harass players from the road, and they've been on the course with carts.
But nothing as severe as he's seen over the past few months.
They damaged the shed behind
Can y'all move the camera to where we can't see the clock and the video in the monitor?
They stole the monitor. A very expensive set of clubs. They stole a bunch of fishing gear that belonged to one of our workers here.
In this surveillance video from the course, you can see activity near where the carts are kept.
Here, 1 minute. It's turned up to its normal spot. Yeah, that's good. Thank you.
With carts, electrical parts and batteries and different things. So they made that mark, but hopefully we'll catch it.
The most recent cases involved the vandals
driving golf carts into this pod here, causing internal damage to the electronic systems of the carts. And Ryder attributes a changing surrounding community for the increase in number of violent actions.
I've been here 27 years.
Yeah, I don't ever wear those headsets. I don't know, 30.
We know there's a lot of great people around here.
I don't want to even wear this one.
People who don't supervise their kids and they don't know where they are late at night.
The vandals have destroyed over a dozen of Ryder's golf carts and damaged property along the course.
They don't have security camera
estimates at around $25,000.
We're trying to recover, and when times are tough, that's a pretty big lift.
Standing by, my cue.
We have a large deductible.
Now, the Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office is investigating the vandalism and also have surveillance and still images of who they believe the perpetrators are. If you have any information, you're asked to contact local authorities or Crime Stoppers at 439-2222. Charlie?
Thank you, Jaron. A man accused of shooting his father will try the insanity defense. Chad Peshoff is facing an attempted second-degree murder charge. Accused of killing his father, or rather, shooting his father in a home north of Sulphur back in January. At his arraignment, he entered a plea of not guilty by reason of insanity.
It's
been a little more than a month since a Jennings couple was found dead in their home. Authorities are still looking for suspects. This was the scene 4 weeks ago.
We're going to come back
Sunday on February 24th. Family members found Katrina Williams and Charles Williams Jr. Police have reason to believe there was more than one suspect involved in the homicide. The couple's 4-year-old child was found in the home unharmed. Anyone with information is asked to call Jennings Police. Meanwhile, Lake Charles Police are asking for information that could lead to the arrest of a third suspect in last week's triple homicide at McMillan Park. Zeminski and Arvey, David Galmore, and Fitzgerald Guillory were all found shot and killed. Police arrested Armonte Hadnot Friday morning. They believe he is the primary suspect in the shootings. Also arrested 23-year-old Lon Porter. Police are still looking for a third suspect. Anyone who knows anything about the case is asked to call police at 491-1311. A Transocean employee on the Deepwater Horizon says he believes the rig crew's emergency training saved lives following the 2010 explosion that killed 11 workers and triggered the nation's worst offshore oil spill. David Young testified in the federal trial designed to identify the cause of BP's well blowout and assign fault to the companies involved. Young, who was second in command of the rig's captain, also defended the Deepwater Horizon's maintenance record. A Jennings man is under arrest in yet another case of crawfish theft. Jeff Davis Parish Sheriff's officials say 31-year-old Jeremy Sisson was arrested Saturday at a crawfish pond on Lyons Road. They say he was caught trying to carry 2 sacks of live crawfish from his employer's pond, which belonged to Cody's Seafoods. He's been booked into the parish jail on charges of theft. In weather, so much for spring.
Stand by one in the monitor.
See freezing temperatures tomorrow morning, though. Chief Meteorologist Wade Hampton's here with more on that.
Yeah, Charlie, I think some areas are going to be as cold as we've seen all year long. Not that we had any greatly cold weather any time over the winter time, but we're certainly going to be awfully close to those same values. Right now, of course, with the sun still up, it is relatively warm outside. 61 in Lake Charles, 57 is the cool spot for both Fort Polk as well as DeRidder.
Then we'll go to Centered on Charlie.
These temperatures should drop fairly quickly, especially if we can get this number to drop. That's the wind speed. The winds will probably dictate more what our temperatures end up doing tonight. But with that said, a freeze warning is in effect for the parishes north of I-10. That includes Vernon, Beauregard, Allen, Evangeline, and St. Landry Parish, where I expect temperatures to be below freezing for 4 to maybe as much as 6 hours. But once the sun sets, temperatures will really fall off in a hurry tonight. I'll have specifics on community-by-community temperatures in about 10 minutes, Charlie.
All right, thank you, Wade. A fatal crash on the Mississippi River Bridge in Baton Rouge kills a DOTD worker. A spokesman with the Department of Transportation and Development confirms a driver of their Motorist Assistance Patrol, or MAP, truck was killed this morning. We're told the driver stopped to clear something from the roadway and was hit. The accident closed that stretch of Interstate 10 for several hours. If you're planning to file an extension to your state income tax, the Louisiana Department of Revenue says you'll have to do it online. They will not accept paper extension requests. Individual income tax return extensions are due May 15th. Corporate and franchise tax return extensions are due by April 15th. They remind taxpayers that filing an extension only grants additional time to file the return. It does not give people an extension to pay the taxes due. Governor Bobby Jindal getting more feedback on his tax reform plan. The Council for a Better Louisiana says the tax revamp plan should be phased in over several years rather than taking effect all at once. The government watchdog also says the plan to trade ending income tax for higher sales taxes should include some sort of margin of error factor so the state does not face new budget shortfalls. Last week, another watchdog group said the math does not add up on the governor's plan. The governor's plan will also add new taxes to services like haircuts and veterinary services. Also included, movie makers can pay actors whatever salary they want, but they cannot claim more than $1 million per actor when applying for tax credits through the state. Douglas Baker with the Department of Revenue says they're still looking at that part of the plan.
There's great interest in the movie industry in the state of Louisiana, as it has been a driver of economic development in this state.
Districts, more VO, it's out, coming back to Centered.
Those who are interested in this movie credit, both in the industry itself and other legislators who have interest in this in their districts.
Mike, you?
Now, these issues and more will be up for debate when the 2013 legislative session begins on April 8th. A Maryland-based company is challenging the Jindal administration's decision to cancel its Medicaid contract with the state. CNSI was supposed to take over Medicaid claims processing next year. The grand jury's looking into how the contract was awarded by the Jindal administration. The governor's health secretary, Bruce Greenstein, once worked for CNSI. When a federal investigation into the company became public, though, the state scrapped the deal. Early voting continues ahead of the April election in Lake Charles. 3 city council seats are up for vote. Vinton voters will determine an alderman race and for the race for police chief. Early voting continues until Saturday, March 30th. The polls, though, will be closed on Good Friday. Other than that, you can vote any time between 8:30 a.m. and 6 p.m. Lake Charles historian Nola May Ross has died at the age of 86. You might recognize her name as the author of 28 books she wrote about Lake Charles in southwest Louisiana. Well known for her accounts of Hurricane Aubrey and Hurricane Rita. She also wrote features for the American Press, Lanyap, and other publications through the years. Arrangements are being handled by Johnson Funeral Home and Arpin.
Go.
And a familiar face on KPLC during the 80s and early 90s has died. For 11 years,
We're going to take it out and then go to video out of 3 for the bump and the break.
There was a lot more to Southwest Louisiana.
Do a wide on one.
His Toomey's travel stories took viewers from the Cameron Coast to the Atchafalaya Basin. In 1993, Allen moved to our sister station, WAFB in Baton Rouge, where he continued to explore the lesser-known parts of the state.
Take it out.
After he retired, Allen moved back to Lake Charles.
He
died today at the age of 70.
Videos up.
Making the case for giving the state's colleges and universities the power to raise tuition. That story, as 7 News at 6 continues.
In 3, 2, 1, fade, take it. Oh, the block. 2 minutes. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go see. Standing by on cam. My cue, go key.
Right now, Louisiana is the only state that requires a 2/3 vote of the legislature to raise college tuition.
Videos
the head of Louisiana's community and technical college system says it's time that changed. He's backing a bill giving the state's colleges and universities the power to raise tuition. He says the schools need the flexibility.
2.
The state allowing us to raise tuition.
So right now, 23 seconds, coming back centered for a tag, staying centered.
And certainly we appreciate the involvement of the legislature, but it makes sense given the changes, the disruptions that are going on today in the workforce and the economy, that colleges be given the authority to react more quickly to these changes, and certainly the legislation proposed would allow us to do so.
President Joe May says the federal sequestered budget cuts could cost the community and technical college system about $3 million. Gun owners can get free gun locks tomorrow. The Calcasieu Parish Sheriff's Office will give them away tomorrow as part of Project Child Safe. The locks will be available from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. at CPSO's main office and its law enforcement centers around the parish. You can find a complete list of those locations at KPLC-TV. Spring has come and spring is gone temporarily. Chief Meteorologist joining us now with details.
Yeah, it looks like this is probably going to be winter's final gasp, though. As we get closer and closer to April, we'll probably see warmer temperatures. This afternoon, though, not too bad, especially if you could stay out of the wind. Highs were in the upper 50s to low 60s, but now that the sun's about to set in an hour or so, temperatures are going to really fall in a hurry. I've got your chilly forecast coming up right after this.
Kill his mic. And fade. Yeah. 2.5. 15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go see.
Now your pinpoint forecast with Chief Meteorologist Wade Hampton.
Mikey Wade.
Well, good evening to you. Definitely a breezy day today. The winds were 10 to 20 miles per hour, even gusting a little stronger than that at times. The good news, I expect the winds to calm down tonight, but that's not necessarily a good thing because the winds calm completely. That allows frost to become a major problem tonight. So it's kind of one of those weird things where it'd almost be nicer if the wind would stay up because it would prevent frost. But of course, if the winds stay up, that also adds to our wind chill issue. And certainly the wind is the biggest forecast problem for tonight. Either way, though, it looks like we'll see near freezing, if not below freezing temperatures across at least part of southwest Louisiana. Then we'll talk more about our Walgreens event coming up in a few minutes. But first off, let's talk about the forecast details for tonight. One thing that is definitely not a concern is the cloud conditions. Definitely going to be a clear night tonight, which is one of the key factors we need to get temperatures to drop very quick tonight is clear skies. That is certainly going to be the case. But again, it's this number, the wind, that is going to be our issue tonight. And we'll have to see how things go between now and tonight on 10 on Nightcast. We'll see if the winds calm any between now and then. If they do, that would certainly be a sign that it will be very easy for temperatures to quickly cool this evening. But winds right now anywhere from 10 to 15, still gusting upwards of nearly 20 miles per hour. Temperatures with our weather watcher, 56 degrees. One of the cooler readings, Faye Jones in Oakdale, Wanda Bailey in Sugartown, has the coolest spot right now at 55 degrees, 58 for Furman in Iowa. Other numbers, 59, Oakdale 57, Fort Polk, DeRidder, even at the coastline, 59. Cameron a little warmer right along I-10, 61 in Lake Charles, but it is very, very dry. The dew points are in the teens in many areas Hard to believe this is late March with dew points this low. Of course, the drier the air, the easier it is to cool off at night as well. That's one of the factors why I'm going as cool as I am with temperatures. Here is my forecast around Fort Polk. We'll go with a low of 29, 28 to start the morning. Oakdale, 30 in DeRidder, 33 here in Lake Charles. Even at the coastline, I think we'll be in the upper 30s to near 40. We'll go with a low of 39. Cameron, frost tonight. Again, if the winds calm enough, I think we could see frost maybe as far south as the Intercoastal Waterway, especially along I-10 and definitely north of I-10. Again, if the winds calm. And if the winds don't calm tonight, the frost might not be as widespread, but we saw some of it this morning despite some wind in some areas. So I think if you got any plants outside and you live north of the Intercoastal Waterway, which is about 95% of our viewing area, I think it would be best to go ahead and take the precautions, whether if you can move the plants inside or if not, cover them if possible. As far as water pipes go, I don't think it's going to be cold enough for long enough to be a major concern, but maybe a brief time period for some of our coldest areas north of I-10. You probably know best your situation as far as those water pipes go. If you've had problems in the past with temperatures this cold, precaution certainly would be best. But again, not a widespread issue. It's just not going to be that cold for long. But freeze warnings are in effect for our northern parishes. That's Vernon, Beauregard, Allen, Evangeline, and St. Landry, where we will likely be below freezing for as much as 4 to 6 hours. Clear skies across our entire state thanks to high pressure situated to our northwest. That actually moves closer to us tomorrow. I think tomorrow night may end up being just as cool as tonight and maybe more in the way of widespread frost. Of course, we'll talk more about that in the next day coming up tomorrow. 30. But for tonight, temperatures in the 30s. Then I mentioned on Thursday, we've got our big event. We'll be in Leesville, coming to you in Vernon Parish for the first time. We'll be at the Walgreens location. That's right on US 171 on the south side of Leesville. The weather, again, chilly tonight. Another chilly night tomorrow night, Wednesday.
Standing by on
cam.
cam.
A warming trend as we head.
They're up on cam. Stand by one, centered on Drew. The bump in the break.
But I don't expect a wash.
All right, thank you. Well, Drew Shirley is here with Sports Still Basketball season.
It is, even in Southwest Louisiana. It turns out the McNeese Cowgirls weren't quite ready to clean out their lockers. Instead, they're packing for South Dakota and one more week of basketball. Sports is next.
You're up in 3, 2, 1. Fade. Take it. Yay. 2.5.
Illuminati, son.
Wait, is he the one who went in a coma? Because of he had a seizure?
Yeah.
Is it from
Nobody knows. Nobody
that was the thing that you were bitching about them saying the purple stuff, whatever.
Oh, this boy's hospitalized, but they never said why he was hospitalized.
4,
the reason why he
3,
had a seizure.
2, 1. Go see.
Now 7 Sports.
Stand by Drew
Shirley, local first.
Mike Hughes.
After the McNeese Cowgirls lost in the Southland Conference Tournament, they did not receive an invite to the NCAA tournament.
C and A are clear.
They did not receive an invite
Stand
to the
by
NIT.
from 1.
They did receive a bid to the WBI tournament as an 8 seed, one of the 2 lowest seeds in the 16-team field. They apparently did not appreciate that.
Video's up.
The Cowgirls traveled to Georgia and went on to beat the number 1 seed Mercer. In this
We're going to go to a full screen next,
then
we'll come back keyed.
Then they traveled to North Carolina and beat the number 4 seed Elon. Now they're on their way to the semifinals, and they have served notice on the rest of the field that making them an 8 seed made them angry, and you wouldn't like them when they're angry.
Go full screen.
McNeese will travel on the road again this week for the WBI semifinals, this time in lovely Vermilion, South Dakota, to take on the South Dakota Fighting Lady Coyotes of the Summit League. That game tips off at 7 o'clock Thursday night. Every year there are Cinderella stories at the NCAA tournament, but usually the Cinderella teams are those gutty, gritty little underdogs who play gutty, gritty defense and dive on the floor and eke out a couple of wins. Not this year. This year, Cinderella has some jailhouse tats and is packing an Uzi. She's taking the big basketball behemoths out behind the woodshed.
Video's up.
I have no idea what that means. But anyway, Florida Gulf Coast is in the Sweet 16. Nobody had ever heard of it.
I know what it was. I just don't know why. But after they stomped all over Georgetown and then trashed San Diego State, the Eagles are the first ever 15 seed to make the Sweet 16. They're joined by the Wichita State Shockers, who lived up to their names by taking out top seed Gonzaga and 13 seed LaSalle, which won 3 games in 5 days to make it to the Sweet 16 for the first time since 1955. March Madness resumes this Thursday.
Wiping.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tiger Woods. He's 37 years old.
We're going to come back to
lives in Jupiter Island, Florida. And, oh, by the way, he is now, once again, the #1 golfer in the world. Today, Tiger won the Arnold Palmer Invitational for the 8th time. It was his 3rd victory of the season and the 77th of his career, and it made him the world's top-ranked golfer for the first time since 2010, when there was some, you might want to call it, unpleasantness that may have distracted him from his game. Tiger Woods will be the favorite to win the Masters next month, and as I've said before, when he's at his best, Tiger Woods is better at golf than everyone else is.
We'll eventually go to video out of 2.
Still drives a Buick, too,
I believe he does.
Sneak in your cart.
Thank you, Drew. Wade has more on the cold weather ahead, and this little fella wouldn't mind a freeze. How things are looking up for this orphan polar bear cub. The story on 7 News at 6 next.
Kill their mics and fade. Okay. The script I have for the saw is just one of those Moss command codes, so I completely overlooked that.
Right, we're talking after the show.
Okay. Yeah, I just...
Yeah, you should have better than that.
28:03.
30-20 after the kicker.
Matt would be really excited. 30-20 after the kicker. Yes. Hopefully y'all will hire somebody who's pleasant. 10.
This is the way you said it. Hope you hire somebody pleasant.
5, 4. I've never been accused of not being pleasant. 2, 1. But I see my cue.
New on Nightcast tonight at 10. Police say it's road rage caught on camera. It started with angry words, then flying fists, and finally gunfire. Plus,
from your favorite sodas to syrups, artificial sweeteners are all around. But just how safe are they? And is it better to actually use sugar? Tonight at 10 in HealthCast, we'll ask those questions to a nutritionist and give you those answers.
And Mikey Charlie.
And before we go tonight, an orphan polar bear cub from Alaska is getting a new home, at least for a little while. Kali is a 3 to 4 month old cub, was orphaned after its mother was killed earlier this month by a hunter in Alaska's northwest coast. Kali now weighs a whopping 23 pounds, is doing well. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service officials expect to transport the cub to the Buffalo Zoo in New York sometime this spring to join the zoo's own cub there, Luna. The St. Louis Zoo in Missouri is being considered as a permanent home for Kali. And nice story to end on the cold note.
Absolutely, yeah, it ties in perfect to our weather. That polar bear would be perfect here, at least for a few days.
3 days up.
Tonight it's going to be in the chilly
I thought he was
going to
be like, don't trust bears like he always is.
Those
things are fish.
Expect frost, especially if those winds calm down tonight.
He's always like, that will kill you. 30.
And I'll update that part of the forecast tonight on Nightcast.
Like, we're not worried defending ourselves against polar bears.
Wade is the person who killed that
warmer weather for the Easter Bunny.
He was the hunter. We should tell that polar bear and maybe he'll grow up.
Even a few showers, but nothing in the bunny camp.
It's the Batman.
That would be the cutest thing ever.
7 News at 6. We're back at 10 for Nightcast or anytime at KPLC-TV.com. For Drew Shirley, Wade Hampton, and everybody behind the camera, I'm Charlie Hall. Good night.
Faye Jagged. Yay.
Batman Cub.
Beating Batman Cub.